Chapter 3. The Corporate Communities Haradjaon. The tribal group. It is somewhat more difficult to represent such a clear picture of the tribal group, for it can cover whole valleys, large tracts of lowland and plateau, extensive mountain regions, or half the island of Samosir in the Lake Toba. The difficulty is, however, lessened a little because the boundaries between the tribal areas were clearly defined and permanently established, where the containing tribal groups made peace after a war. Thus, it is possible to show the individual tribal areas on a map. Such boundaries were not so necessary among the marga branches and lineages, or for the grouping into which they resulted united to form a more or less well-defined community. Therefore, boundaries within the tribal group's area were frequently not defined, for though fighting was indeed frequent within a tribal group itself, when one faction might capture the huta of another, or some people might be driven from the place in which they live, the contestants nevertheless belong to one larger group, and if a neighboring group threatened to invade their territory, they had to combine. Such internal boundaries were thought necessary, however, in an area such as the Sijamapolang region, the area of benzoin cultivation, where the forests are in fact the actual benzoin fields and where the area under cultivation is extensive. The boundaries between the tribal groups are sharp. On the Samosir boundary is a straight east-west line. On the human plateau, clearly demarked lines go over hilltops and conspicuous stones, over trees and ravines, and elsewhere over a stream, a watershed, or some other natural feature. Here and there, controversy will rise among the Batak on some perhaps uncertain individual points. But where does one ever find a situation among these people in which everybody is in agreement? But such arguments are never of so much account as to make the drawing of lines of demarcation on a map justified.